I'm Allyson Glover. I run Happy Business. I'm from beautiful Falmouth in Cornwall, and I read Michael's book. When I started my own business, I'd been in leadership, running business support programs for years, and I just needed to top up my tanks. I just needed some fresh thinking, some fresh content. Michael popped into my feed somehow, serendipity. I bought the book, I read the book, I liked what I heard. And then when the executive leadership program popped in, I thought absolutely. I was sold on Michael from the book. Okay, it's a great book. When I spoke to him, the charisma and the experience absolutely oozes through. So it was an absolute no-brainer. I was at a crossroads. I had a really long and successful career. I'd taken the decision to start my own business with 3 other colleagues. After a year, that hadn't worked out. I was sulking, if I was honest, and I needed something to shake me out of the funk. So I signed up for the program. From the first session, I knew I'd done the right thing. I met another great bunch of coaches, and it just re-energized my thinking, my practice. I think the big thing, the big reminder for me was about leverage. It's very easy when you're working with clients and you've known them for a while, you know a lot of what's going on in their background, that you don't go deep. I had been coaching what was in front of me, what was on the surface, and that reminder and that learning and that practice to kind of go deep, was probably my biggest takeaway. And I can honestly say, it was super timely. There was a particular client that, it's very timely. I happened to have a coaching session. I'll go, right, we're going deep today. And it was perfect timing for them. It was, that session, along with another session with the co-director, was transformational. They were about to hit a wall, and I think I helped to prevent that from happening. One of the things that I really wanted from Michael is, I think when you're doing both, you lose the clarity between what is consulting and what is coaching, and Michael and the group have really helped me to reframe that. So I did an ILM 5 in coaching for management. The theory was great. One of the things I got from the old program was, I think probably I was at that stage of my career of really understanding self-awareness. Whilst it was a very kind of academic qualification, and assignment led, the biggest takeaway I got from that was, at that point in my life, how important self-awareness is as a coach, being able to switch yourself off. So that's always carried through with me, but this was just a different level. I think when I did my qualification, I was working with, I didn't have the peer group, I didn't have the challenge that the executive leadership program gave with Michael, and that I always say it whenever you go on a course, it's not just about the course content, it's about the people that you're going to be working with, and Michael has the ability to attract really high quality and experienced people onto the program, and that for me is the difference. Going back to this client, it was interesting. He the first one of the two, because I coach them. I tend to coach them in the same week, and I coach them monthly. So it kind of, and then the alternate month I coach them together. So I had these individual sessions, and we'd got out of our routine a little bit, and it was a bit of a catch up session. So I'd kind of learned everything that was going on. We'd had a really good conversation, and then probably 3/4 of an hour in, I went, right, we're going deep today. And we always walk and coach. We've got a beautiful track that we walk and talk in. And on the way back to his building, he was saying, I feel so much lighter for you having dug that out of me. And he, he had got himself into a hole, and we hadn't fixed it completely in that session, but the fact that he'd said it out loud, and that following week he connected 2 or 3 more times, because we'd sort of, we were working through how he was going to address what he needed to address. And then the other director, he's the one that I'm particularly proud of, because he really embraces coaching, really gets it, really sees the value of it. And what it required was Matt to handle the situation really, really carefully. What I helped Matt to do was to work out how to do that. And these two guys have been best friends forever, and that's hard in some ways, because they talk on a surface level, but I've got them working at a much deeper level together now. And Matt said, Ali, I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't have come in that day, if you hadn't have done that pre-work with him, if we hadn't have caught that at that point, then we would have been in real trouble. And he said, I'm super proud of how you helped me deal with it. I would say you will brilliantly surprise yourself by doing it. Okay, whatever. We all need to re-energize. If you're coaching, if you're consulting, if you're working on your own, you need really good quality input. And I promise you will get that from those sessions. You'll get it from Michael, you'll get it from the people that you interact with, you'll get it from the work that you do. One of the first exercises you did with us of journaling, okay, I've not journaled before, the journaling exercise, and I'll be honest with you now, I sent the same journal to 3 different people, okay, because it was really pertinent to what I had going on, and the writing of it helped me massively. The perspective of other people on it helped me massively, and that's what got me through the funk. So anybody else doing it, whatever your motivation is, whether it's to become a coach, coach better, learn some stuff, connect with a group, do not underestimate the way that this program will re-energize you.